Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and welcome to Western Michigan, Muskegon. I just landed from Denver, and I get my inbox spy photos of the next generation Ram battery electric truck. So I want to put these on the screen. If you don't know yet by now, Ram's done a Ram revolution for many years now, asking customer feedback, or about a year now, asking for customer feedback as they developed their first fully electric half-ton truck. So I have spy photos. I bought these from the spy photographer. Sorry, Airplane Head. I buy these for you guys. I put the logo on there as part of our agreement, and so you guys can see the photos because I think it's interesting stuff. So let's go ahead and talk about this, and let me put it on the screen. I will stop yapping. So, boom. This is what I got. I will let me move this window around a little bit, see if I can. Well, no, it's gonna be best. It's gonna be. So this is what they were calling a Ram 1500 electric, and the reason he's calling it this is because you can see all the camouflage around the front end. Okay, and it's on both sides. Plus, there's no exhaust note. There's no exhaust coming out the rear at all. So they feel pretty confident this is a Ram 1500 as far as battery electric. Now, this is a concept that they've been working on. We've seen some stills. We've seen some weird graphic design jobs on this stuff, Photoshop, on trying to say what the next generation will look like. But let's go a little bit closer, and you see the big protrusion right above the tire there this is on the passenger side. And so what we're thinking that could be a charging port. Typically the Ford Lightning charging port was on the driver's side. This may be something different, maybe on the passenger side. I think automakers are still trying to figure out what side it's going to be on. And you can see it right there. You can also see these wheels. They're not found in the Ram catalog, according to the photographer. It looks like they're unique wheels on this. And then we have something weird on the front end, and we'll see a little bit closer here in this next photo. You can kind of see that front bumper juts out a little more than that front grille, and it looks like it's out of proportion. So it makes us wonder if they're working on like a larger frunk design. If you know this, the frunk is the front trunk, and it's used for storage these days. Usually some power on board in there as well. These kind of vehicles, you compare this like the Lightning or the Silverado, they have the same ideas. And so it's ideas about whether or not that's going to be a big frunk or not, what they're working on design there. Same cab, which is going to be interesting. Some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it. Some people want to see big differences. But the big difference is going to be in the rear here. We're going to get a close-up shot here in just a second. They're calling this independent rear suspension with coils, which is just like the Grand Wagoneer. I'll zoom in here. You can see it for a second. So it's a 5-link coil suspension with the springs on. You can see the springs there set up to springs over coils. So the same thing the Grand Wagoneer has, and everybody's going. So far, everybody who's doing electric truck is going independent rear suspension. The reason they're doing that is because it allows them a little better ride quality, and then it really helps with understeer in the corners, that kind of stuff, because they put the battery right in the middle of the truck, and so the truck now is better proportionally weighed out as far as weight on both the front and rear. And we can kind of see another photo here, and then you come around the back there, you can see that little setup there. I don't know what's wrong with this bumper back here, if they hit that or not, but it's definitely been mashed up. You can see the trailer hitch sitting on top of the bumper. So this is probably just a bumper they have laying around. Or I just bolted that on there. And what's interesting is not just the front, and you can see that design on the front. And so we talked about with the charging ports there, and the overall design. What's interesting was the sticker back here, which the spot photographer I think had a good sense of humor, and he took a close-up photo of it. So don't push. So this also leads us to believe that it is a battery electric vehicle because so far on battery electric vehicles, you can't flat tow them. You actually have to get a wrecker with a flatbed to pick them all the way up to get them moving. So that's kind of the thinking here is this is going to be battery electric. Now, in my view, when I see these photos and such, I think this is probably just a test mule for the powertrain. I don't think this is going to be the final version of it. And I say that because I think Ram is doing a lot these days to make their design really stand out. And I would be pretty shocked if they decided not to make something completely different. The cab for the 1500 is pretty old these days, hasn't been redone in a long period of time. There's nothing exciting about that look. There's nothing unique. So, I think I kind of like the uniqueness of it. So the Ford M50 Lightning, I think that really just mirrored the F50 with the battery. I think the Chevy Silverado EV and especially the GMC Denali EV are radical departures. And so it's interesting what these companies are doing. And I think to some degree, I'd rather have them do something completely different because I think that makes it easier for the audience to understand that this is not a replacement for a gas or diesel 1500. This is just an alternative, another truck. It's something different. And I call these more like an SUV with a bed. They can do truck things, not very long because of the battery range we've seen so far with the Lightning, we've seen so far with the Silverado. They can do okay, but it's if you really want to tow and haul and you go off road and you be all weekend out in the boonies, well, it's still a gas or diesel at this point. It's going to make that work. And so I think what we're going to see is I would like to see Ram do something a little bit more unique in this space and not just do 1500 with a battery. It seems kind of like, that's just kind of calling it in, just not really doing a full on big job on this. So I'd be surprised if they went down that road. I don't know. What do you guys think, though? Would you rather see a Ram 1500 with a battery, or would you like to see a whole new redesign, completely different vehicle that happens to be a Ram 1500 battery electric? I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Now, as far as seeing this vehicle, the Ram has said that they're going to reveal this concept in the LA Auto Show, which happens in about 3 weeks. So this is why we're starting to see spy photography. So we understand the spy photography kind of market works. So typically we see spy photos, I don't know, a month or 2 months before the reveal. Then a reveal happens, and then we'll see spy photos like different trims, stuff like that, depending on what happens reveal. But that's typically the way things work. So we're right along that same time frame. And so I'm sure we'll see something in LA Auto Show. We'll see a battery electric Ram there. They are talking it's going to be in the STLA large EV platform they can build this on. STLA large footprint is going to be their platform building this on. They've made all sorts of announcements and things. They're going to be a real truck. We're going to be used like a real truck, and they're going to have lots of range, all that kind of stuff. And I don't know. I think it's kind of mismessaging at this point. So I'll be curious to see what they do for range. Currently we have these Ford Lightning. The best it can do is 320 miles, and we have the Silverado. It says best it's going to do is 400 miles. So range is going to continue to be an issue, especially because we don't have many chargers. It's in my part of the country, as you saw in the road trip video I did with the Ford Lightning, and other people's parts of the country. Charge is going to be a good step to that. Plus, more range is going to be a big thing to that. And then we know real world range has always been less that number. So if we're going to do 400 miles of range, we're probably going to do 380, 370 or so of just around town real world driving. Highway probably 350, 340, and then when you start towing, you just go down to maybe we get 100 miles out of this. We start towing at like a camper or something like that. So early days for EV stuff, early days coming out, early technology still relatively new. There's still a lot of learning to happen. There's still a lot of improvements to be done. And so it'll be interesting to see how Ram does this, because they don't have a battery electric in the lineup. So like when Ford did theirs, they had the Mustang Mach-E. When GM has done theirs, they've been doing Bolts, and they've been doing things for years. And this is the first time we're going to see Ram really do something. Now, they had a Fiat kind of thing for a while, and they kind of puttered out. I don't think that's what they want to do as far as the full architecture for an EV. So I'll be interested to see what they do here, and we'll interested to see what they do in the future, because if this EV platform is inexpensive for them to build, they can put different vehicles on it. Why not do a Dakota? Why not do a midsize truck? That's my question. So for more, check the videos over here, website down below, pickuptrucktalk.com. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you down the road.